This is The Litter Box, a Detroit Lions podcast with your hosts, Chet West and Bill Patterson.
Welcome to the Detroit Lions Litter Box. Thank you all for listening. I'm your host, Billy P., with my co-host, Chet West. And Chet, the Lions have an exciting Sunday night tilt with Mr. PFF, Chris Collinsworth, announcing tonight in Philadelphia from Lincoln Financial Field.
Your favorite guy, Chris Collinsworth.
Oh, God, he drives me crazy. He's not as bad as Jonathan Vilma, but he's close. Hey, my first question to you is, do you think that Jalen Hurts, the Eagles' esteemed quarterback, can beat the Detroit Lions with his arm, not just his legs?
Well, Jalen, if you had asked me this question in the first couple of weeks of the season, I would say possibly not. But he has been on the come up lately. In his last 4 games, he has a 127.25 passer rating. He's second in the NFL. Now, granted, that included a game against the Vikings where he had a perfect passer rating and torched them. But he has no turnovers, first in the NFL, and 12 TDs. So he is on the rise as a passer right now. And he's going to go up against a Lions defensive backfield that is the legion of whom exactly. We don't know who we're going to get back there this week. It could be real rough. A.J. Brown, the petulant, oft-times eccentric A.J. Brown, might have a get well week here. He might have a get healthy week for his stat lines.
He had an interesting week, did A.J. Brown. He has been going back and forth between complaining about not getting the rock enough, and the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles, Jeffrey Lurie, had to have a sit-down powwow with one A.J. Brown to kind of clear the air on all this. It is never good when your boss's boss's boss has to sit you down because you're being such a distraction on a Super Bowl winning team.
That's never good in any organization.
No. So your answer is that they need to feed Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and others.
I do not trust our defense enough to be able to handle premium players in this league.
Got it.
I think they can handle everything below the 50% line, but anything in the top half we struggle with, and anything in the top quarter has the ability to just burn us all day. I don't think this defense is there yet. I'm not saying it's on Shepard. We got a lot of injuries. We'll leave it at that.
Okay. Fair enough. And I would put Devontae Smith, as I think you would, and A.J. Brown above that 50% Mendoza line, or
even with the malign season for Brown.
Yeah. And you had a question for me.
I do. Yeah. So I'm a little curious here, just based on some stats and who they have in their backfield. Why can't the Eagles run the ball as well this year?
Yeah, that's been a good question. I did a little digging, and I know you did some digging on this too. So for our listeners, here's the thing. Saquon Barkley had an all-pro, all-world season last year. He ran for over 2,000 yards. He was well above 5 yards a carry. This year, he's below 4 yards a carry. So I did some digging on this, and do you know, going all the way back to the early to mid-1970s, every running back that has had a 2,000-yard season has fallen off a cliff the season following. I don't think you can have 300-plus carries, plus, all the receptions that Saquon had and others, it's just too difficult to sustain that level of excellence. For our Lions listeners and Lions fans, Barry Sanders had one 2,000-yard season. It was his second to last season. And the next season, he had a career-tying low yards per carry average, 4.3, and then he retired. And so the only running back in NFL history that hasn't fallen off a cliff after a 2,000-yard season was one O.J. Simpson in the 1970s.
That's a while back.
But everybody else, Eric Dickerson, Jamal Lewis, Adrian Peterson, all really, really struggled the year following and had at least a yard per carry less than they did.
1,000-yard season beats a guy up too. I mean, that's the factor right there.
It was really interesting. Priest Holmes said this one time. Just imagine getting not only into 300 car crashes in a year. Just imagine getting knocked down by a 250-pound man and then having to just get yourself up off the floor. I mean, doing that 30 times a Sunday would be tough enough on artificial carpet or thinly cut grass.
Yep.
So here's the thing. Also, the Eagles are dealing with some offensive line issues, some injuries. They're not complaining, but outside of their all-pro Lane Johnson, they're not really seeing above for their average line play going forward. And so I think those are kind of the reasons, well, not kind of, those are the reasons that the Lions should be optimistic facing this Eagles running attack or lack thereof. So I think the Eagles are going to have to beat the Lions through the air if they want to today.
I think they can.
Yeah, let's get into the injury report, Chet.
Well, hang on. I want to throw something at you. This will be a fun little twist in the show.
Yeah.
So the Lions run defense. There is a certain player along the defensive line. You may know who this is. This may seem obvious to you. That when he is in and playing, the Lions defense, over the course of 105 run plays when this player is on the field, is first in yards per rush, first in offensive run success rate, third in explosive run rate, and first in run stuff rate. That sounds like a dominant run defense right there, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
Without this player on the field, 106 run plays, so almost even on the plays. 4.7 yards per rush, they are 23rd without this player on the field. Without this player on the field, there's a 42.5% offensive run success rate. They rank 25th.
Gosh.
Without this player on the field, 5.7 explosive run rate, tied for 6th, and 8.9% run stuff rate. They are the worst run stuff team in the NFL without this player on the field. Who is this player, Bill?
I'm going to go Hutch.
No.
Lee McNeil?
The rookie, Tyleek Williams.
You've got to be kidding me.
Al Karsten, the football guy Al, on Twitter posted this past week to, I would say, some shock from folks. They were not, basically ends with the Lions are arguably the NFL's best run defense when first-round rookie Tyleek Williams is on the field.
Okay, so suck it, Chris Collinsworth and PFF.
I don't know what the other anomalies are when he's on the field. I don't know if it's a strategy thing. I just know that we are one of the best run defenses when he's on and one of the worst when he's off.
Okay.
You don't see a lot of the benefit from a defensive lineman against the run unless they're stuffing it by themselves, right?
So,
like an Lee McNeil type move.
This tells me that he's not only occupying his gap, but he's also at least occupying his man and demanding a double team.
He may be a better asset than we thought in this past
Completely.
draft.
Statistics don't lie in this. And Chet, really good work on your part, and that is fascinating.
Thought it was a fascinating tidbit.
And I am going to have all eyes on him today because I think he could be one of the keys to the game.
Okay.
And when the Lions pull off this surprise victory, he's going to get a game ball. All right?
All right. Give us the injury report, Bill. Hurt us.
Grab a blanket and a pillow, maybe a fresh beverage, because this is going to take a while. If the Lions don't win this game, this is going to be the key.
Here we go.
Terrion Arnold is concussed. He is out and did not practice at all this week.
Okay.
Marcus Davenport, surprise, surprise, tried to practice, was limited, and is out this week. Miles Frazier, no shade thrown his way. He's working his way back from a fairly gruesome injury that happened preseason. He is out, but the good news is that he is practicing.
Good.
Kirby Joseph, the knee is not good. He is out for the 4th week. That is a brutal blow. And that is 2 starters, he and Arnold. And then we have a 3rd starter that is a key contributor, Sam Laporta. So fantasy owners, he is out. His back is all sorts of bad.
IR. He's on the IR. He'll be out for 4 weeks. Minimum.
And we did get a vote of confidence from MCDC talking up Brock Wright, but the Lions were active this week searching high and low for backup tight ends.
Well, not to mention Brock Wright's dinged too. I think he's on your injury report somewhere. He'll play, I think, but he's dinged.
He's questionable. Let's keep on. All right, these are the other guys that are out for the game. Josh Paschal, DJ Reed, and Malcolm Rodriguez. All right, now let's go to the questionables. And these are people that practiced, should
Dinged
play.
up, practiced. Okay. Here we go.
No surprise, Taylor Decker is still dealing with the shoulder. Your guy, Amik Robertson, is still dealing with a hamstring, and he is questionable.
The captain of the Legion of Whom?
Yes, Jacob Saylor's not really a major contributor except on kick returns. He is also questionable. Penei Sewell, that ankle is still bothering him. He was very limited this week. As a matter of fact, he only practiced one day. Isaac Coleslaw is questionable. Sion Vake is questionable, and the aforementioned Brock Wright is questionable. The only good news we have is Graham Glasgow and Aiden Hutchinson were full participants and are not questionable. If you may, give me your thoughts, and then I will go to the other side of the ball and give you the Eagles.
My thoughts are we see this week in and week out now. And I made the comment last week, in the NFL, you got to play. All right? You got to play. You're going to have an injury report. You're going to have guys out. You got to figure out who the next guy is. The next man up concept becomes a little more difficult to grasp as we get down to the third and fourth man and that next man up. That's when things get difficult, and that's where we are on this team in a couple areas. So I have a sneaky suspicion that Mr. Hurts passer rating is going to stay elevated this week, and he's going to be able to throw on us at will.
I would say after what I just shared with you and the listeners, you are 100% correct on that. And I would be stunned if it didn't happen unless for some reason the pass rush gets home. And let me go through the Eagles injury report, and maybe we can ascertain some different opinions. The long snapper is dealing with a finger injury. His name is Cal Dominist. And that's not good. You need your fingers functioning to be a long snapper. Jacorian Bennett, one of their Legion of Whom cornerbacks, is dealing with a pectoral issue. A backup receiver, Darius Cooper, is dealing with a shoulder. Here's where it gets interesting, Chet, and this is the key to the game. Landon Dickinson, one of their starting guards, is dealing with a quad injury. Lane Johnson, their all-world offensive tackle, ankle. Cam Jurgens, their center, dealing with a knee. Their other guard, Willie Lampkin, is dealing with a knee and an ankle. And then I've got two more. Nolan Smith, one of their really stud linebackers, tricep injury. And then Tyler Steen, their offensive tackle, is dealing with an oblique. So that is 4 starting offensive linemen that are dinged up. They seem pretty much about the same as the Lions' offensive line in that regard. The difference is, Chet, every one of these gentlemen for the Eagles was full participants, full practices all week. The only guy that's questionable for the game would be that of Willie Lampkin, the guard. So I would say advantage Eagles from a health standpoint. Your thoughts?
I would say advantage Eagles from a health standpoint. They don't quite have the dings we do. I think if the Lions want to play this thing a certain way, it's keep the Eagles offense off the field. That's all there is to it. This could be a game where the Lions offense has to be very, very balanced and burn some clock in order to keep themselves in this game. They can stay in this game to the fourth quarter, they got a good shot. But if they get blown out early, it's sayonara.
If they go down 2 scores, whether that's 10 or 14, this thing's over. And why don't we talk a little bit about fantasy then on that? Do you have any picks to click?
Yes. Devonta Smith, A.J. Brown should light it up today. I think their wide receivers are going to do enough damage to us early, and they will be able to lean on a run game to some degree to burn clock from there and get up 2 scores and just make life miserable for us. I don't know if their strategy will be to keep our offense off the field, right? Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. This is an offense against offense game. The defenses are going to be, they got some great players on that side of the ball, but
they've got great players all over the field.
But we have an incredible offense. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how the injuries in the line affect us. We'll see how the loss of, Laporta affects our offense. But I think our main guys are still going to click in Amon-Ra and Gibbs. I still keep them in fantasy. Obviously, you're plugging them in every week. Jared Goff could have a pretty good game statistically. We'll see there.
What about Jalen Hurts and David Montgomery? Any thoughts?
Monty's a tough one this year. He just doesn't get the reps. He just doesn't get the opportunities. When he gets them, he seems to do okay with them, but he doesn't seem to be involved in the game plan as much as Gibbs has been. It's almost like, you see a little more Jameson Williams this year, and you see a little less David Montgomery. They're using different weapons in different ways. But now that MCDC is calling this game again, the offense again, maybe we will see more Monty. We saw a little more Monty last week. Maybe we'll see more Monty this week. It's kind of sometimes one of those things where is it a Monty game or is it not a Monty game?
So, and
Hurts will be great. I mean, if he's your quarterback, plug him in. He's going to have points.
So I did some, in doing pre-show research, and quite a few of the pundits or experts suggested that this could be the Montgomery come out of the shell game.
Yeah.
I seem to lean with you. Gibbs is so dynamic and he offers so much. I mean, really the only thing that he wasn't good at was picking up those obvious blitzes in the Vikings game. But I mean, that's more on the play calling than it was anything else.
I mean, if the Eagles are going to come after us, it could be a long day too. We'll see what kind of pass rush we get.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk a little bit about Vegas.
Yep.
And the line opened at 1.5, favoring the Eagles. It is now at 2.5. And the over-under also dropped a point. So it opened at 47.5. Now it's 46.5. I am going to go over on this.
Yeah.
I don't like the point spread to what we alluded to earlier. I think the Lions either lose this thing big, meaning 14 to 20 points.
If I had to take a side of the spread, I'm taking the Eagles at home. That's all there is to it.
Well, I think... Yeah,
I think I'm going to do that, actually. That's Eagles at home given the 2.5. I'm 100% taking the Eagles.
I'm taking the over 46.5.
Okay, so you got the over and I got the spread.
All right. As we wrap up here, do you want to give your prediction first or would you like me to?
I'll give mine because it's on the tip of my tongue here. I think this is going to be a 35-17 Eagles win. I think we're going to come out of this game again with questions. MCDC is calling the offense. I don't go as far as to say, hey, the Lions can't make a Super Bowl if they don't win this game. They're going to play some really good teams this season. They're going to be prepared if they get to the playoffs at this point. It's not a given. They're going to be prepared for the postseason when they get there to play whomever they're going to play because they're going to see most of these teams throughout the season this year. So I just don't think on the road, in the current predicament they're in injury-wise, that they're going to be able to pull out a win here. But you never know. They're a competitive team.
I am going to go Lions 27-23, and here's why.
With a shocker. Okay.
I think that we are going to see the Montgomery game. I think we are going to see a healthy dose of Sonic and Knuckles today, both Gibbs and Montgomery. I think the Lions are going to play keep away. We talked about time of possession being probably the key thing. And I think the difference in this game, Chet, is in the red zone, the Lions score touchdowns and the Lions hold the Eagles to field goals outside of big plays to the aforementioned Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown.
I'm going to say this. Lions can pull this game out. Sky's the limit for this season.
Sky's the limit. They're a wounded animal, and this is the last big hurdle before they go home. That is what we have. Thank you for listening to the Detroit Lions Litter Box. Go Lions.
Go Lions.